Enduro is pretty much a number of downhill runs, normally 5, that are linked together with transitions, so untimed climbs back to the top, ready for your next stage. So you need a mix of power and stamina. You need the power for those big hard intervals when you're riding the stages, but you also need enough stamina to get you round the whole loop and not be totally blown out by the time you're at the last stage. At the Enduro World Series last year in Scotland, with practice and racing, I rode 180 kilometres and did over 3,000 metres of climbing. Never mind the 8 stages where you're hitting or getting very close to max heart rate. So never mind all the physical stuff, you've actually got to ride your bike really fast when you're absolutely revved out. So how do you prepare for such a race? I split my training into 3 parts: intervals, base miles, mountain bike rides. The intervals on a turbo trainer is quite a painful thing to do, to be honest. There's not really a massive advantage having a heart rate monitor for this, because some of the intervals are so short that when you're putting the power in, your heart rate won't have time to catch up, so you'll get a feel for what sort of effort you should be putting in, and by the end of the interval session you should be pretty much done. My favourite session on the turbo is what I call around the clock. Take 10 or 15 minutes to warm yourself up so you're ready to roll and get set for that first interval. What I'll do for that first interval, I'll whack it into my biggest gear and then turn the resistance on maximum and just do a 10-second sprint, and that's a max sprint as hard as you can. You shouldn't even get out of breath with that one, it's just maximum power through the legs. And then I have 50 seconds off to recover. So turn the resistance off, maybe click it up a few gears to make it easier. The next interval is 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off. For that interval, I'll go in 1 easier gear than I was for the first interval. So I'll go right about down the block, come up 1, and whack the resistance on for 20 seconds full speed. 40 seconds off, and then 30 on, 30 off, 40 on, 20 off, 50 on, 10 off. So the time's going up on each interval, but actually the intensity will drop a little bit. So I'll probably go up the block 1 gear at a time for those intervals. So I'm pushing a slightly easier gear, but I'm going for a longer time. Those last couple of intervals are really hard because you're only having a little bit of time to recover in between them. Once I've done the 50 on, 10 off, I then have 2 minutes, take it way off on the resistance, put it in easy gear, recover. That one set is 1 stage in an enduro. So what I try and do is at the start of my pre-season training, do 4 of those sets and work my way up until I can do 6 sets of those intervals. That to me represents 6 stages on an enduro. In the UK mainly we do 5 stages in a day, but I like to know that I've got 6 just in case I need them. You need a good diesel engine to pedal you around all day long, and that means training at low intensity but for a long amount of time. If you've got a heart rate monitor, we're talking about zone 2 or zone 3. If you don't have one, basically you should be able to chat easily to your mates. Plenty of people don't realise how easy that is. They go too hard and burn their legs up, so they don't spend enough quality time in those low zones. These sessions can be done on a cross-country bike or on a road bike. I did them a lot on my road bike until I got bored with it, and then I'll go back to my cross-country bike. On my road bike I've got a power meter and I just keep an eye on it occasionally so I don't start creeping up the zones and start burning up my legs too early. I'm looking for that quality time in those lower zones. These rides can be incredibly dull, so you can liven them up by bringing your mates with you. Just don't be tempted to race each other, or you could use your commute to do it as well. A few hours in those lower zones and you should have that achy leg feeling, but not feel totally blown out like you would on an interval session. I would aim for 6 or 8 hours of mellow riding a week to improve my diesel engine. Mountain bike rides. So these are the normal rides that I do by myself or with friends. Just normal chatting, maybe going up the climbs, quite a mellow speed, unless someone starts half wheeling you. If you're anything like me, it turns into a race. Race your mates to the top. If you lose, just don't forget to tell them how many base miles you've been doing this week. So I'll set off hard and fast and try and get used to riding technical stuff when your heart rate's really high. Even if you make mistakes, keep cracking on, get to the bottom, have a bit of a breather, and then roll back round to the top of the next stage, almost like a race. Alright, so there's training for enduro. Some of the distances and the meters climbed aren't exactly that huge, but the hard part is measuring yourself so that you've got the fitness for however many stages you're racing, where you'll be using almost maximum effort and you don't want to be blown out before the end of the day. Alright, if you found that video useful, click like down below, but also we'd like to hear from you guys. If there's any other videos on training you'd like to see, let us know in the comments down below. Or for how to ride rocky descents with himself and Mark, you can click up here, or, is a bit controversial this one, click down here if you want to go to our sister channel GCN, and they've got a video playlist all about training on the road bike, so don't be scared of the roadies. Also click on me if you don't want to miss any of our videos on GMBN.